Good morning. Happy Saturday to everybody. Or should I say to maybe the one or two viewers who watch my videos. But you know what? That's that's nothing to stop you from doing what you I'm doing this as a testament that you can keep on going. If you look at most of my longer videos, a lot of them have zero views, or if I'm lucky, one or two views. But I try not to let that stop me from doing it because of then you quit. Then you're a quitter when you keep going. Sometimes when you succeed and people discover you, then they start going over all, they find everything related because suddenly you're it. You see how people think together, how they can't break off and say, oh, let me try this person. Let me watch this person because they're unknown or I never heard. Oh no, I have to watch this person because they were on Comedy Central or they were on MTV or they were on the Academy Awards or they were in a movie. Everybody knows them. Everybody has a T-shirt with their name on it, so I'm gonna watch. Anyway, where does comedy come from? Where do comics get their comedy from? Well, it comes from different sources. I personally, I think it comes from people's experiences, what they went through in their life. Bad, good, ugly, tragic. Some people, they just been through hell. Maybe they were in detention centers. Maybe they were in juvenile detention. Maybe they were in foster care. Maybe they got beaten up. Maybe everybody has. Some people have been homeless, but and a lot of comedy comes from families. Each family has their own unique brand of humor. Take Eddie Murphy, for example. I read that he first started practicing comedy in the living room in front of us. Now, I'm not sure if his brother Charlie was also practicing comedy too in the living room, but I know Eddie was. And a lot of other people, each family, I even think Billy Crystal, I think his family was more into jazz and music, but the family nurtured and fostered creativity and expression of art and expression of feelings and ideas. So I guess the point is it needs to be relatable. That's what I mean, in order to become popular, in order for people to like you, in order to be booked, in order for people to watch you, you have to be relatable. And that's the conclusion that I'm starting to think. Because a lot of my comedy comes from my family, from family road trips, from talking to my grandmother who thought I was funny. She used to like, Steven, you missed your calling. You should be on TV. That was 20 years ago. Here I am. Yeah, I'm on TV now, Grandma. I'm on YouTube. You go watch me from the grave. She used to talk about heaven all the time. She used to say, it must be a wonderful place because nobody ever came back to complain. Oh, she used to call heaven the great hotel in the sky. So I took it to another level and I call it the great Holiday Inn in the sky. But nobody else can relate to that humor. That's the point. That's why I'm not making it. But I can't change who I am. This is who I am. These are my experiences. For whatever reason, the general public, the general people do not appreciate my humor. Otherwise, I would be in a real show. I would have other comics coming up to the open mics and being friendly and saying hello to me, rather than me having to go up and say hello to them and beg them for a conversation. So I just must not be relatable. But another issue in comedy, I think it has to do a lot with age. And the reason why I say that is because I'm not lying. I get frustrated with comedy sometimes. I look for other ways to express my art. And I look into acting gigs. And I scroll through a lot of, casting calls or auditions. And a lot of them must be between 18 and 33 or 8. It's all designed for younger people. See, at least in acting, it's expressively said, we want young people for the role. In comedy, they don't actually say it. They just quietly discriminate against you. Try going to an open mic, for example. They're all young people all trying. Now, if I had started doing comedy in the late 80s and the late 90s, like a lot of the big comics my age who have made it and have podcasts and people acknowledge their existence, I probably would have been at least in a real show by now. I don't know if I would be as big as them because I'm still kind of weird. I'm still kind of quirky. A lot of people don't get me. A lot of people are kind of standoffish with me. They don't really want to interact with me too much and I can't change who I am. This is who I am. And I know there's somebody out there who has that too. I'm not the only person who is an oddball. I'm not the only person who's not part of the flock. I'm not the only person who's walking around cocky and arrogant and thinking that I'm a fucking hot shit and looking in the camera and yelling like a goddamn carnival barker and everybody loves you more for that obnoxious behavior. I'm not the only one who I am the way I am. You understand? That's why I talk about these things. It feels good to have a voice at least. And because for years and years, I went around thinking about this shit, regurgitating this, quitting comedy, starting comedy, quitting comedy, regurgitating, going there, feeling rejected, feeling ignored, stopping it. People in individual conversations tell me I'm hilarious, going back, and I had a dream of one day making it in comedy and being invited to come on a talk show and talk about my experiences trying to make it in but I never made it in comedy. I never even got to be in a real show. So, I just come on YouTube. I come on YouTube now. I talk about it now. At least I finally have a chance to talk about it. Even if 1 or 2 or 0 people watch me, I hope it serves as inspiration for anybody out there trying to be heard. Okay, this is not just about me. I know it is. It is partially. I'm ventilating. I'm getting this off my chest, but I also do this as an inspiration to you. If more than 1 people watch me, then maybe I will be able to reach the person who feels the way that I do. But, people travel in flocks together. People travel in herds together. You ever see a bunch of group of guys wearing a same fucking jersey with a number of a player? Like, is he God? He's just a guy who broke his head. Do you see people walking around with the name of a comedian in their t-shirt? No. Stop with the idol or girls. Oh, we're going to go out in 10 degrees and wear mini skirts and spaghetti shirts. Guess what we do? Because we don't jump up and do things together. I get very angry at people sometimes. And maybe I sound like a fucking raving lunatic. I am, but I'm talking about it. And I feel good. I've been feeling shitty all week, lying around with depression and the flu and a bad back. And I'm getting this shit off my chest, coming in here, exercising my free speech to talk my mind. So thank you, YouTube, for giving me this free platform. And thank you to the universe for keeping your ears open, even if you don't watch me.